Viridian, The Green Guide, written by Clouds, read by Distracted by Books. Chapter 109, Victory. Kumo. Oboro was in so much pain. Years of erased memories rushed through his brain in seconds, destroying everything in their path like a flash flood. All those experiments, finding a lost kitten in the rain and showing up to school soaked, the never-ending lineup of doomed cellmates, all of it felt so overwhelming and wrong, but at the same time, it was right. The plot holes in his life, the things that had never made sense while helping Shigaraki, or while undergoing the doctor's experiments, suddenly made sense. His memories knit together like a patchwork quilt that was just as comforting as it was suffocating. The brainwashing kid that had fought all for one and won, at least twice if Oboro was correct, was lying on the floor after being violently tossed from his brain by the sheer pain of all those memories returning. But with as much as he felt for the kid, Oboro couldn't help but feel grateful. Because whatever had thrown out the kid had also forced out all for one. For the first time in more than 10 years, his mind was his own again. Or, well, his and his head friends. That was going to take some getting used to. Oboro hadn't been that aware of what happened before the fight. The Kurogiri part of him that had been too focused on his mission, first on fighting Viridian and then on fighting the Brainwasher, that he hadn't paid much mind to the heroes that had come to fight him, with the exception of Eraserhead. Oboro's eyes widened and his head jerked up to look at the heroes, his friends. Finally feeling enough like himself that the mist retreated until it was just on his head, like it was in high school, just this time pitch black instead of pure white. Shota? Hizashi? Nimuri? Long time no see? Nedzu observed the fight, baiting and leading Shigaraki around the stadium so that he didn't cause a hazard to civilians or any load-bearing walls. Still, the damage was significant, and if Shigaraki had had any backup at all, Nedzu would have been extremely concerned for the structural integrity of the building. As it was, though, the heroes may not have made much progress in capturing him, but he also hadn't made much progress with killing them, so Nedzu considered it an even match for the moment. As it turned out, that moment wasn't very long. Nedzu's fur stood on end, and he looked around trying to figure out what had just triggered such an intense fear response. A man he'd never seen before was striding toward them with purpose and fire in both his eyes and his hands. It appeared that Shigaraki's backup had arrived. Nedzu's eyes flitted about the hall, ready to give the order to close the festival down and evacuate, when he realized that the man, who was almost completely covered in scars, wasn't glaring down the heroes. No, he only had eyes for the villain, which made Nedzu wonder just whose backup had just arrived. Even Shigaraki stopped fighting for a moment, staring at Dabi curiously as he bowled right up to them. Who are you? An NPC or maybe an ally? You're definitely not a hero. Neither are you, the stranger replied. Call me Dabi. Nice to meet you, Dabi. Shigaraki grinned. I'm Tomura Shigaraki. Dabi raised one eyebrow. Are you part of the group that killed Endeavor? Shigaraki's grin got even wider. That was just a warm-up. We're going to kill All Might, too. Dabi nodded slowly, partially turning away before winding his arm back and punching Shigaraki straight in the jaw as hard as he could, knocking that stupid grin off his face in process. Shigaraki stumbled back, a look of enraged betrayal on his face. What the hell are you doing, you cheating little troll? Dabi glared at Shigaraki as he advanced. You talk like a gamer. Do you know what kill stealing is? Shigaraki scoffed and lunged forward. Of course I know what it is. I hate it. Dobby grabbed his wrists and lit his hands on fire. So do I. You know, Viridian, Ingenium panted, between you and Stain, I'm really starting to wonder if speed quirks are all they're cracked up to be. How are both of you so fast? Izuku shrugged helplessly. I mostly just had to run away a lot. He's getting more desperate. Crawler dodged another swipe of Stain's katana. He's practically hysterical at this point, which makes him dangerous and unpredictable. If we could fight him in ideology instead of physically, Izuku mused, we might be able to. A yell made him jump a foot in the air and almost slam his laptop shut in panic. You freaking idiot! I can't believe you! Just what the hell do you think you're doing? Hi, Kachan. Izuku smiled sheepishly. Congratulations on winning the first 2 rounds? Kachan just glared at him. Don't try to flatter your way out of this. Do you want to get caught? Because showing up to a stadium full of pro heroes, there was a villain! Izuku defended stubbornly. I needed to save her hostage, and you had to shove yourself headfirst into the lion's den to do that? Kachan pulled at his hair. Seriously, I just don't get you sometimes. You say you're not ready to get caught yet, but then you go and do crap like this. Did you say Kachan? Ingenium interrupted. As in the informant that Stain is obsessed with? Is he there with you? Izuku's eyes widened. Are there any speakers nearby that I could connect to their audio? What the frick are you talking about? Kachan complained. Are you even listening to what I'm saying right now? Yeah, Izuku replied absently. But Kachan scoffed. Of course you're not. Really, you are seriously the most stubborn person I know, and that's saying something, considering that you've met my old hag. Our support vehicles have speakers, Crawler pointed out. At least one of the trucks should be close by now. Whatever you're going to do, kid, just hurry it up already. Izuku muttered to himself as his fingers flew across the keyboard. Okay, yeah, that one will be pretty much at the fight by the time I can connect to the audio. And if we... Okay, Kachan, are you ready? Ready for what? Kachan rolled his eyes. If you're going to completely ignore me and then ask for my help, you may as well actually tell me what I'm doing. Izuku turned bright red. Sorry. Ingenium and Crawler are fighting Stain, but they need a distraction. Katsuki nodded, rolling his eyes. So you need me to annoy the shit out of a serial killer? Izuku went, yeah? Katsuki scoffed. Thank God, I've been wanting to give that a-hole an earful since last time. Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up! Okay! Izuku squeaked and jumped back to his keyboard, hacking the speakers as quickly as he could, sighing in relief when the timing worked out and he got control, right as the truck was approaching the alley. Okay, we're connected. Go! Kachan took a deep breath. Stain, you mother trucking idiot! I thought you were learning, but apparently you're still just a moron who's never even developed common sense about not judging a book by its cover. The truck slammed on its brakes at the unexpected sound, and Ingenium sounded like he was holding back laughter. But it worked! Stain stumbled and started looking around. Kachan, what are you doing here? You're not among those who need to be culled today. Yeah, well, neither is Ingenium, Kachan argued. But nice to know you still remember me, considering that you're most of the reason I'm stuck with this cutesy-ass nickname. A true hero must be constantly reminded of their lofty goals. Stain insisted, still looking around for Katsuki. If you were truly trying to... Stain never got the chance to voice his judgment. Kachan had done his job well, and by the time he noticed Ingenium and Crawler's pincher attack, it was already too late to evade it. He went down like a rock, and both heroes immediately started clearing him of all of his weapons, while the sidekicks in the support truck came rushing to help them restrain him. Izuku sat back and exhaled slowly. He did it! Thanks for the assist, Viridian, Ingenium said. You're going to make one hell of a hero when you go legit. Izuku blinked in surprise. torn between a warm, fuzzy feeling of pride and a sense of guilt for somehow fooling another pro hero. Thanks, but that's not really, in the cards for me. Don't sell yourself short, kid, Crawler said. It'll be nice to have some more vigilante representation. Oh, Izuku's stomach twist. Well, oi, Crueler dude, Kachan cut in. What made you decide to be a hero? Come on, I thought we were past the point of messing up my name, Crawler whined. And do you mean like a legal hero or just someone who saves people? Because for me, those were two different things. Kachan rolled his eyes, despite the fact that Crawler could only hear his voice, but it came across just fine in his tone. I mean, the getting the license part, obviously. What made the difference? Well, it was kind of that or give up or go to jail, Crawler shrugged sheepishly. There were some villains, and things kind of came to a head, so I couldn't keep being a vigilante forever. It's really not a permanent gig. It's great while it lasts, but eventually we all have to move on and move to bigger and better things, right? It's just kind of how life works. Izuku had a lump in his throat as he hurried to end the call. Well, I'm glad I could help. Congrats on catching the hero killer. Kachan shot Izuku a look as he slammed the laptop closed. See? Izuku shook his head frantically. It's different for Crawler, Kachan. He could have been a hero from the start, and I could have been a hero from the start, too, if everyone around you hadn't been idiots, Kachan insisted. Come on, you damn nerd. Haven't you run enough yet? Izuku packed up his laptop and turned away. Not quite. End of chapter.